There was no answer, only the soft crackle of candle wicks and the distant, constant hush of the estate at night, an enormous creature holding its breath. He rose and went to the small basin of holy water near the door. The surface was glass black in the moonlight. He dipped his fingers. The water did not smoke. It did not hiss. It did not burn. He stared at his wet fingertips, stunned by the absence of punishment. All his life he'd been told, the holy rejects the damned. The sacred repels the predator. But the water clung to his skin like any water would. Cool, ordinary, patient. A sound came from behind him, a soft scrape of leather on stone. He turned. Father Gaius stood in the doorway, an old priest with a spine slightly bent by years, eyes like worn coins that had seen too many hands. He carried a lantern, its flame trembling, and the light made his shadow enormous across the room wall. "I wondered when you'd come," Gaius said quietly. Lucian's mouth went dry anyway. "You are not afraid?" "I am," Gaius admitted. He stepped inside, the lantern painting warm color onto cold stone. But fear is not the same as hatred, and it is not the same as certainty. Gaius set the lantern down and approached the basin. He touched the surface with one finger, then looked at Lucian as if measuring his soul with his gaze. "People like your father enjoy rules that make the world simple," Gaius said. "Holy water burns the wicked. Crosses repel monsters. Sins are neat. Redemption is for someone else." Lucian's throat tightened. "Am I someone else?" The priest's gaze softened, and that softness hurt more than contempt would have. "You are a creature with hunger," he said, "and you are a creature who knelt to pray. Both are true, and because both are true, you suffer." Lucian's hands trembled. He clenched them into fists, nails pressing into palms. "If God sees me, why did he let me become this?" Gaius' mouth tightened, not in judgment, but in grief. "I don't know," he said, voice rough. He shook his head. "I am not God. I am only a man who lights candles and tries to be good." Lucian's laugh broke out, sharp and ugly. "A man?" "Yes," Gaius said. "A man who has heard your family's confessions for decades. A man who knows the sound of hungry laughter behind closed doors." Lucian stepped closer, drawn and repelled at once. "Then you know what they do?" "I know enough," Gaius said. "And I know what you are trying not to become." Lucian's voice dropped to a whisper. "I don't want to kill. I don't want to take. But the hunger..." He pressed a hand to his throat, where his pulse should have been. "It's like a song in the blood. It's always there." Gaius' eyes flicked to Lucian's mouth, then away, an old instinct recognizing danger. "There are ways," he said carefully. "Animal blood, donors who consent, people who..." "My father calls that weakness," Lucian said bitter. "He says it makes us less. He says compassion is a crack the sun will pour through." "Your father fears cracks," Gaius replied, "because light reveals." Outside the chapel, somewhere in the corridors, footsteps sounded, slow, deliberate. Not the soft tread of servants, not the drifting wonder of a sleepless guest. These steps had the weight of ownership. Lucian froze. The air seemed to sharpen, filling with the scent of old cologne, cold tobacco, and something metallic. Authority. The room door eased wider. Cassian Voss stood there, framed by darkness, his face a serene mask. He held a goblet in one hand, a silver chalice engraved with vines and thorns. The red within it caught the lantern light and shone like garnet. Behind him, Aunt Mirella lingered like a shadow with teeth, and two other family members, cousins with eyes like polished onyx, watched in silence. Cassian's gaze moved from Lucian to Father Gaius and back. His smile was small and immaculate. Lucian stared at the goblet. The scent rose from it in waves, warm, alive, threaded with the copper sting that made his fangs ache. Hunger surged, sudden and humiliating. His mouth filled with a phantom salivation. His hands shook. "You see," Cassian said softly, watching Lucian's reaction the way one watches a dog smell meat. "Your body knows truth, even when your mind plays games." Gaius moved a fraction forward. "Lord Cassian." Cassian's eyes flicked to him, and the priest fell silent as if struck. Not physically. Something older. A social blade, the certainty of power. "My son has been influenced," Cassian continued, still calm, "by tenderness." Aunt Mirella's smile appeared at the edge of the shadows. "Tenderness is how humans fatten calves before the slaughter," she murmured. Lucian's voice came out thin. "I don't want it." Cassian's brows rose, almost amused. "You don't want blood?" "I don't want death," Lucian said, the words shaking loose now that they'd begun. "I don't want to take what God gave